Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Did you guys see that guy shit his pants on TV? This has nothing to do with the rest of the video, but man, it's funny. Representative Eric Swallowwell shits his pants on live TV.
Is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. Is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Farts on TV. They try to blame it on a coffee cup. I want a farting coffee cup. That's what I want for Christmas. From the New York Times. Guards accused of napping and shopping online the night Epstein died. The 2 jail staff members were charged with falsifying records and conspiring to defraud the United States Metropolitan Correctional Center. The night that Jeffrey Epstein hanged himself in a Manhattan jail, one of the guards on duty was catching up on sports news and looking at motorcycle sales on the government computer. Hey, at least it wasn't child porn. The other spent time shopping online for furniture for about 2 hours. They appeared to be asleep at a desk just 15 feet away from Mr. Epstein's cell. Those details were revealed in an indictment unsealed on Tuesday against the 2 jail employees. The indictment said neither guard made their required rounds every 30 minutes to check on inmates, yet they fired paperwork claiming they had. The entire night, from 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., security cameras showed that nobody entered the wing where Mr. Epstein had been left alone in his cell. The indictment said, well, where the fuck's the footage of his cell then? Those cameras don't work. The guards, Tova Noel and Michael Thomas, only discovered Mr. Epstein was dead when they went to give him breakfast. You think it was eggs? I messed up, Mr. Thompson reportedly told the supervisor just minutes later, according to the indictment. Miss Noel and Mr. Thomas were charged with conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and with making false records. They both surrendered to the FBI on Tuesday morning and pleaded not guilty at a hearing in federal district court in Manhattan in the afternoon. Bail was set at $100,000 each. This doesn't really matter. The only thing I see coming out of it is a possibility of them throwing names under the bus. Maybe they know more. But shit, I don't know, this whole thing's a clusterfuck. And then following Prince Andrew's interview, there's this. Prince Andrew is named in explosive pages of new evidence detailing further allegations against his billionaire pedophile former friend, Jeffrey Epstein. U.S. judge will decide before 2020 whether to unseal 3,000 pages of evidence. Hundreds of people are thought to be named in the files, including the Duke of York. All those names and files will be formally told before January so they can respond. New evidence is said to be linked to a lawsuit filed by Virginia Roberts Jeffrey. Ghislaine Maxwell prowled Central Park to recruit women for Jeffrey Epstein. Accuser. November 19, 2019. One of his accusers claims Jeffrey Epstein's gal pal, Ghislaine Maxwell, prowled Central Park to recruit women into a sex trafficking ring. Maria Farmer, who was the first one to notify the FBI about Epstein in the 90s, just went on CBS this morning. She said she saw Ghislaine going to get girls.
She went to places like Central Park. I was with her a couple times in the car. She would say, "Stop the car," and she would dash out and get a child.
When questioned about what she was doing, she would say,
"Getting Victoria's Secret models."
She also verifies that Epstein hid pinhole cameras to monitor private moments.
I looked on the cameras and I saw toilet, toilet, bed, bed, toilet, bed. I'm like, I am never gonna use the restroom here and I'm never gonna sleep here. And I asked him one time, what do you do with this? And he said, I keep it. I keep everything in my safe.
And when asked about Les Wexner,
he said Wexner would do anything for him. Wexner, the Wizard of Oz. He was the one behind the curtain that had all the power.
And about her going to the FBI in the 90s.
They are trying to pretend I do not exist. That's right. I want my report and I want it printed out so I can show everyone how much they failed.
So I wonder why the FBI won't give her her report.
I don't know if I'll ever get it. We've been requesting it forever.
And Jane Doe number 15 went public.
Jeffrey Epstein started his targeted grooming and manipulation of me as a child when I was in New York City for a school trip. I first came into contact with an assistant of Epstein's while on a high school drama club field trip to New York City. I was invited to his home. There, his assistant took a photo of me and then later reached out to me inviting me to Epstein's ranch. I only knew Jeffrey Epstein for 5 days, during a trip to Zorro Ranch, his massive compound surrounded by government land in the New Mexico desert. Epstein took my sexual innocence in front of a wall of framed photographs of him shaking hands and smiling with celebrities and political leaders. I was only 15 years old. After, he wanted to talk with me about what had just been my first sexual experience and directed me to take time to myself that night to cry. He said that would be beneficial to my growth. After this, we had a long talk about my future goals. I told him that I wanted to go to college to study biochemistry. He said that he wanted to give me money for college. He asked me how much money I thought he should give me. At 15 years old, living in northern Michigan with my mother, stepfather, and grandfather, I had no idea how to respond to a billionaire who had just raped me. I was being asked to quantify in monetary terms what had been taken from me. After I returned to Michigan from Zorro Ranch, I was contacted by one of Jeffrey Epstein's assistants and invited to Epstein's Island, where I was told Prince Andrew, among others, would be a guest. I'd also like to say that I agree with Gloria that Prince Andrew and any others who are close to Epstein should come forward and give a statement under oath on what information they have.
And yeah, I heard about Lady Cameron. Thanks everyone for tagging me in it.
You all seem to have forgotten that Jeffrey Epstein, the offense with which he was charged and for which he was imprisoned was soliciting prostitution from minors. That is not the same thing as pedophilia. Soliciting
what do you call it?
Prostitution.
If you solicit a 14-year-old for prostitution, you're a paedophile.
It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't.
Does matter.
And they were not 14
for sex.
in America.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't a decent man.
That is nonsense.
No, it's not.
He was convicted of procuring a 14-year-old girl for sex.
Was
prostitution.
He? 14.
Yes, 14.
Well, but I'm not justifying Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not justifying No, pedophilia, I suspect. There's a difference between a minor and a child.
She was scary as shit in Pet Sematary.
Get out of bed again! Never get out of bed again!
And yes, I know she was raised a boy, because at birth she had a genital malformation, a fused labia, and deformed clitoris. Medical advice at the time was to assign her as a male so that she could live what was determined a normal life. She was christened George William. And then, after all this other shit, Prince Andrew steps down from public duties after a disastrous BBC interview. In a statement Wednesday, Andrew announced that he will cease royal duties for the foreseeable future and is willing to assist law enforcement in Jeffrey Epstein investigations. Andrew wrote, "It has become clear to me over the last few days that the circumstances relating to my former association with Jeffrey Epstein has become a major disruption to my family's work and the valuable work going on in many organizations and charities that I'm proud to support. I guess we'll see what happens."
To help him cheat an election.
Fucking stoned. I got motherfucking spaceship. Oh, fuck. Oh, cool. I got it.